for entertainment purposes only. And if you want true legal advice, contact your own lawyer.
We've talked a lot in the past about all these lawsuits against singers, especially the big-time singers, for copyright infringement. And it's kind of getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. Well, there's one against Ed Sheeran.
When your legs
Yeah,
don't work like they
this
used
song,
to before.
Thinking Out Loud. And it's Marvin
And I can't
Gaye's
sweep you off
estate,
of your
among
feet.
others. It's basically has brought a lawsuit saying
Will your mouth still remember
this is
the
very
taste
similar
of
to
my
their
breath?
song, Let's Get It On. And
Will your eyes still smile?
I'm telling you, it doesn't stop. So now what they're asking for is to determine whether or not that is Marvin Gaye. I'm going to say Marvin Gaye because there's multiple plaintiffs in this, not just Marvin Gaye, his estate, but other multiple plaintiffs, including, companies like Structured Asset Sales, and different people who own rights to Marvin Gaye stuff, or at least were involved in it. They're saying that song, that was a famous song of Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, copied Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, which is, by the way, a fairly famous song. I remember that when I was growing up as a kid, or early on, because that was, I think it was the 1990s. I can't remember. But that was earlier. Marvin Gaye was probably in the 80s or 70s. But here's the situation. The argument is, Ed, you can't sing the song Thinking Out Loud anymore at your concerts. And by the way, we want to see your income per concert and see what kind of money you're making, not only from the concert, but from sales of shirts, sales of hats, anything and everything. And they brought this motion before the court, and the courts denied some of it, but basically granted it. And there was a 10-page opinion. It was Wednesday by the U.S. District Court that said basically you're going to have to show them some of that financial information. And wouldn't that be interesting to see if that becomes public? And that's what's going on with this case. This is one of those ones that we continually follow. And this is what? This what is Let's Get It On? Is this Let's Get It On?
Yeah, that's blocked off YouTube now. Maybe
Yeah.
the suit is why. This one is the Ariana Grande song.
Okay, we're going to talk. Well, before we get to the Ariana Grande, hold on.
Well, just really quickly, what Marvin Gaye's estate is saying is you can't play it without paying us,
Right.
without paying for it. That's why they want to know all of this. And Sheeran is saying, look, the venue that I played this stuff at is covered by the ASCAP agreement that allows this stuff to be played, so I don't owe you that. The court rejected that argument, and now they're going to try to parse out, all right, if you make X amount for this concert total, and you play this song that takes this many minutes, you owe this much.
So Ed Sheeran says it's covered by the blanket ASCAP or BMI.
Right.
That's what he tried
License.
to argue. It was rejected by the court.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice try. That's not going to happen.
So-
You could say that if you took somebody's song and put it in a movie. Well, the theater plays ASCAP BMI. Yeah, nice try. That's not going to happen.
But notice there's a lot of these cases coming out, a lot of these lawsuits that we're following up on. Ariana Grande, her big hit called Seven Rings. Cal, you want to play this Seven Rings?
I got a little Seven Rings here for you. I mean, but didn't this all start with the Spirit thing where it really started gathering momentum? It
that's
seems to me.
with Spirit, which we would have never remembered who the Spirit is, and that's the the legend song from Led Zeppelin.
And it did with that. It also...
So listen to this. This is obviously of my favorite things.
Yeah, this is from what song?
My favorite things are from The Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music. That's right. Sounds just like it.
And that's not the entity that's suing her for copyright infringement.
That's good. We're going to get a copyright infringement if we play it too long.
Okay, that's enough.
We're a news.
That's
Actually,
enough.
we won't. We're a news program, so it doesn't matter.
So she is being sued by a hip hop artist who goes by the name of D.O.T. And that individual's name is Josh Stone, and he says that he wrote and recorded a song called You Need, I Got It in 2017, and that he actually provided that to a producer named Tommy Brown who works with Ariana Grande. This lawsuit that he filed in, I believe it was New York, is the first time I have ever heard of a, quote, forensic musicologist, close quote. And they are claiming that 2 forensic musicologists have determined that literally This is a quote from the complaint. Literally every single one of the 39 respective notes in 7 Rings is identical with the 39 notes of I Got It from a metrical placement perspective. Putting it another way, the rhythm and placement of the notes and the lyrics are identical, which is interesting to me. They talk about 39 notes. There are only 12 notes in a scale, okay? So
I think they're saying looking at the sheet music together, they would be the same. And yet, here's the point that you make, and I think it's a great one. 8 notes in a scale plus sharps and flats, so
Yes.
you got 16, whatever. So if you look at that, you say, how many different random, non-duplicative patterns can there possibly be in the world? And why are you suing everybody when you want to? I mean, this is not just a path to easy money to you. I don't know. It seems weird.
This is what we've got. We talked about how this stuff started. You guys referenced Spirit, right? The first one I can remember talking about was the Farrell case, where they were sued, incidentally, by the estate of Marvin Gaye, who is now suing Ed Sheeran.
Right.
Okay, and this, I mean, I'm telling you, you look at the sales of the records of the artist that was alleged to have been copyright infringed upon. Those sales are going up. The sales of Sheeran are going up. But to me, the greater effect is every artist who has ever submitted something is now looking at this when somebody gets a big settlement and says, hey, I think I might have a claim, and every settlement out there or award of millions of dollars to somebody is just going to encourage others to say, I came up with that idea first. Then they're going to go ahead and file this. What I'm waiting for is someone to then file something against that person and say, well, you didn't get it first. I worked with you, and you took it from me. And you're right. There's got to be a finite number of combinations.
Michael Bolton wrote Love is a Beautiful Thing.
Yes.
Remember the song? And he played it. He got sued. And the song with which it was compared, if you listen to the two, you'd go, you're out of your mind. He lost. He said, I am not writing any more music. I am done, because everything I write, somebody can come after me and get this for this. So there's got to be an eventual point of diminishing return, don't you think?
Right.
You think about it, but, you'd hope that juries could just listen to and follow the jury instructions. But my feeling is there are a lot of people that say, well, you're rich. You made millions of dollars. This poor artist is just scraping to get by. Throw him a bone. Go ahead. Give him a little bit of money.
That's kind of what they're hoping for.
Go to the website, radiolawtalk.com. That's radiolawtalk.com.